Hello, my name's John. Welcome to my YouTube channel. John plays the guitar. Today, again, I'm not playing guitar. I just wanted to talk about anonymous bands and masked bands and, trying to find out who they are. Particularly now that Angine Depoitrine, I can't actually pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Angine Depoitrine is really popular at the moment. You'll see it in a lot of feeds, and some people might be wondering who they are. The same thing happened with Sleep Token. The people wanted to know who the singer was or who the members of the band was. During lockdown, there was Clowncore as well. So a lot of anonymous bands. And I actually haven't seen anyone mention this in terms of, how you want to actually try and find who is behind an anonymous project. I'm not going to disclose who's in the band. I mean, you can find out for yourself. But I will show you how to do it or some methods on how to do it. It's definitely become a lot harder now than it was, say, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it used to be super, super easy. But all right, let's get into it. So first things first, you'll need to know what a rights collecting society is, or they're also called performing rights organizations. Essentially, they're usually on behalf of the songwriters and the publishers. But essentially, songwriters or publishers give or assign rights to them, these societies, to then grant licenses on behalf of the songwriters and publishers. So, for example, give them licenses to radio stations or broadcasters, or if it's a particular country that has public performance rights, then grant those rights as well. So that's like where, things are played at a bar or a venue or in shops and stuff like that. And so any band that's, even half big or even, tiny bands, they will all register their songs with these rights collecting societies. You might be seeing where I'm going with this. Oh, Roy Porbison's come to say hello. Roy, say hello to YouTube. Yeah, I'm holding a bit like. I'll put Roy over here. Oh, she's straight back. Straight back. Sorry, Roy. Where was I? So yeah, any band, and some. I'm surprised that no YouTubers have, at least from what I've seen, particularly when Sleep Token was big, was mentioning this, because a lot of the YouTubers play in bands themselves, and they would register stuff with these rights collecting societies. So, and then it was interesting, like when Sleep Token, people trying to figure out who the singer was, and like reading through the forums. I'm like, guys, it's so easy. A lot of these rights collecting societies have public databases. So you just put in the performer and then you search the particular song, and then it will show you who the songwriters are. And obviously most of the bands I'm talking about, the primary songwriters are the people in the band. It's not like an artist or a pop artist where the songwriters are completely different. They're not in the band at all. The thing is now, I don't know exactly when this happened, but I feel like the rights collecting societies or the performers' rights organizations maybe have to do with the changes in the privacy and data laws in the EU. Quite a few years back, but they allow people to register with pseudonyms now. So, for instance, Vessel. If you search for Sleep Token, the songwriter just appears as Vessel, and then you'll see two as well. It'll be Vessel and two as the primary songwriters. So, hooray for drummers getting a songwriting credit. It can't all be Lars Ulrich. I feel like drummers deserve to be songwriters in more songs because they're integral. I reckon they're the most important part of the band. Anyway, getting sidetracked. But yeah, so they allow songwriters, instead of having to use their legal name, can just use their pseudonym. So Angine Depoitrine. Had you been really quick, you could have gone to the Canadian equivalent of the rights collecting society called SOCAN, and I'll put up a screenshot here of how to, go search through their database. And if you had been quick, so literally just maybe only a few weeks ago or a month ago, you could have found out their real names behind the band. But if you go to search for them now, it'll just have their pseudonyms, being like Ken and Clec Depoitrine. And I'll put that on the screen as well. but we already know that they're part. Well, see, I looked at it straight away and was able to find their real names before it got changed to pseudonyms. And it's the same with Sleep Token as well. I think a lot of people already know who the singer is, and if you want to know the drummer's name as well. You can still do it through the rights collecting societies, but it's way harder to do now. But yeah, with Angine Depoitrine, we know they were in a band called La Poex. I'll just keep bastardizing the names on purpose. So you can search for that in SOCAN still, and you can still find those names. And I'll put them up on screen, but I'll remove the names because a lot of people, if they don't want to be found, I know that the irony of me teaching you how to find out who it is. But yeah, those are still there. Sometimes the account will have the same songwriter code, so you could match them together, but it's not the case in this instance. And Clowncore, remember that? That's so obvious who it is. You can tell just from the drumming style and just their body who it is. You don't even need to do this. So I don't think it's a well-kept secret. But that one hasn't been changed into a pseudonym at all. So a lot of rights collecting societies share their information. So, just because the band is from a certain place doesn't mean you need to search through that database. So, for example, you can search for Clowncore through BMI and ASCAP. They're the American rights organizations for songwriters and publishers. And I'll put a screenshot up there, but I'll get rid of the names anyway. But it shows how you can see who the band members of Clowncore are. Actually, I haven't searched Angine Depoitrine through BMI and ASCAP as well. They call it like the song view search. So when they've been changed to a pseudonym, it doesn't always update straight away into the other ones. That's about it. You need to be pretty quick. If they have been changed into a pseudonym, there is a way to still find it out. The UK equivalent for their rights collecting society is called PRS, not that PRS. I think it's Performing Rights Society or something like that. That one you need to register to get a login. Probably smart. Although I appreciate it's transparent that the other ones have. If you need to find out who a songwriter is. The idea is if you want to use a composition, just say in a film or something, you need to be able to find out who the writers are so you can approach them to get a license, usually like a synchronization license or something like that. So that's why it's there. But PRS, you need a login. You can get an account if you're someone who's looking to use music. And then once you have a login, it is still a pseudonym, but they have this database that cross-references, I think, with PPL, which is the recording side. And hopefully no one from PPL or PRS are looking at this, but they haven't maintained the pseudonym or anonymity when you look at it through the recording side. So that's how I was able to check and confirm. I already confirmed Sleep Token before it became a pseudonym. But nobody believed me that it was possible. So I said, okay, hold on. Let me do my PRS login and then also go cross-reference it through the PPL sound recording side thing. And then all of those names are still there. I think I had a friend, there's a rapper, Cass is Dead, who people wanted to know who it was. So that's the method I had to use for that, the PRS and the PPL sort of cross-reference sort of thing. Because everything else is a pseudonym for Cass is Dead as well. Hello, Editor John here. Let me know if you want me to do a follow-up video showing you the PRS method, so to still be able to find people if they are a pseudonym. I don't know if people have interest in this or they're happy just for these people to remain anonymous, but yeah, let me know. So I'm not sure why this hasn't been discussed in any videos that I have seen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyone that's making money in music, it's pretty hard to remain anonymous because, you've signed contracts. Look at Banksy. Eventually Banksy's been unmasked. You need to register with like your rights collecting societies, usually on the publishing, songwriting side and on the recording side anyway. And all that's, generally public databases as well. And if people are quick before it gets changed to a pseudonym, you can see who it is. So I don't know, it's pretty hard to actually be an anonymous band unless you just never register with those societies, but then you're missing a big chunk of money. Or you just don't really do anything other than perform live. But then, in this day and age, that's not really a viable solution. So what do you think of this video? Will you go and try and search to find who your favorite artists are now? Or do you not really care and you expect that they want to be anonymous? Anyway, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, all of that garbage. See you next time. Bye-bye.